Everybody's been speculating whether or not purple Pikmin would be purple and whites would be in the next Pikmin 3. But now that we've seen them in the challenge mode footage, people have been wondering whether or not they are exclusive to the challenge mode footage. Well, I don't think they're exclusive to the challenge mode footage, and I'm going to tell you why. And if you look at Pikmin 2, I'm sorry, we never ever would have thought that the game could be continued after paying off the debt. We never ever would have thought that you would have to go back and go find Louis if you wanted to, I believe. I think that was optional, if I'm not mistaken. But with that being said, they really threw a curveball at us with that. Like, we just didn't see that coming. So in Pikmin 3, I'm thinking that they're also going to throw a curveball at us with the purple and the whites. They said that, they're in the game, that they're just hidden. We've seen pictures with them not being initially in them, like the cover art. But if you see the full cover art, you'll see purple and whites. But we also see more pictures with the purple and whites in them. So with that being said, they're in the game, people. For everybody who doesn't know, they are in the game. Now, whether or not they're going to be in the story mode is debatable at this point, but I think they're in the story mode because I think this is a curveball being thrown to us by Nintendo. And here's my thing. We've only seen them in the gameplay footage of the challenge mode, but when you think about the scenes, all the gameplay footage that we've seen that excluded them, think about it this way. And it's possible in those footages that they chose not to include them because they are hiding them. And besides, you don't need every type of Pikmin for every portion of the game. And you probably can't even have every Pikmin for every portion of the game, especially in the water portion, the portions where there are large bodies of water. So with that being said, it's possible that in the trailers and all the gameplay footages, that the only footage that was shown were footages that purple and whites were not required. Furthermore, Shigeru Miyamoto, who's also the creator of Pikmin 3, stated that he wants this game to stress you out. Now, I think they said this, I believe there's a 100-day time limit to complete the game, but that's not really going to add a lot of stress. But it's clear that the object of the game is to find fruit. You have to find seeds to take back to your planet, but while you're finding the seeds, you also have to collect juice to provide sustenance for the captains. And if you don't find that, game over. So with that being said, let me fix this camera. Alright, so with that being said, if they really want the game to stress you out, it would not make sense for them to remove the purples and the whites from the story mode when they could present obstacles that require the purple and the whites to perform. In Pikmin 2, there were obstacles where you had to use white pigment to find things underground. And considering the fact that they are digging up fruits, but although the fruits are already at the surface of the ground, I'm pretty sure there are going to be some fruits that you are going to have to dig up. With that being said, in Pikmin 2, there were things you needed the whites to do, and there were things that you needed the purples to do specifically. So if they really do want this game to stress you out, I believe that they would include obstacles that will require the use of all Pikmin and require the specific use of specific types of Pikmin. So that's one reason why I say that the purple and the whites are in the story mode, but like they said, they are just hidden. And if they are hidden, why would they show purple and whites already? They probably just want you to find out. They want to drive you crazy because they're really driving me crazy. They want you to find out when you actually buy the game. Now, that's why I say that that's why they're in the story mode. But it's a possibility that they won't be in the story mode. And if they're not, I'm going to be disappointed because we really don't need rock Pikmin. I thought rock Pikmin were corny. I mean, if you Google lithops, Lithops, I guess that would be equivalent to a rock Pikmin. But other than that, I thought they were corny. I thought the gameplay mechanics were corny. Like, you throw them at an enemy, they bounce right back off. But I think that really puts them in a line of danger when it comes to enemies that'll eat them. Because I've seen footage where they bounce off a bull board, the bull board just walks right over it and just go eats them right off the ground as they're going to charge back into them. Now, me being me, I'm sort of a perfectionist when it comes to playing Pikmin. I do zero death runs, so using rock Pikmin to fight enemies would probably be problematic for me, considering the fact that I want to do zero deaths as possible, zero death runs. So I thought they were corny. Wing Pikmin I thought were cool. I really want to know why they have compound eyes. Like, what the fuck are those big blue eyes supposed to do? Like, we know why white Pikmin have compound eyes, it's to see underground. So that's what I'm just worried about. And another thing, I've seen a crimson candy pop bud in one of the footages. I think the trailer that they released on the last Nintendo Direct prior to this one, there was a candy pop bud, a red one. So I believe if they got one candy pop bud, I'm pretty sure they got other ones as well. Now, whether or not you need the candy pop buds to create more purples and whites, I don't know. I will hope not. I will hope you'll be able to use an onion. But if it is, I'm fine. Like I said, if they're not in the story mode, I'm going to be disappointed because I want all the Pikmin. Like I said, purples are my favorite. And if you want to really stress everybody out, you should include all obstacles as possible, not just take two specific types of obstacles out of the game for whatever reason. But that's just my opinion on that. All my purple and white lovers, please keep hope that they're still in the game. Hopefully they are still, well, not in the game, but hopefully they're going to be in the story mode. But if not, we're just going to have a lot of fun with them in the challenge mode, which will really irk the fuck out of me. But hey, it's doable. Like I said, I can't wait to get my hands on this game. But another gripe I have with this game, like in the footage, you see that they were giving the Pikmin more of an identity by giving them different voices. You know, the obvious differences in the voices are the rocks, the yellows, and the wings. Why do the reds, the blues, and the whites, and the purples all sound the fucking same? I feel don't do no half-ass shit. If you're going to do, it's either going to be all or nothing. Don't do, 3 out of 7? Give them all specific voices, but the rest of them could just sound the same. What the fuck was the point of that, Nintendo? Like, if you were going to do that, you could have just had all of them sound the same, because now I'm wondering what was the thought process behind that. Like, I really want to know, because it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I felt as though the reds would just sound normal. Blue Pikmin would sound like they're underwater all the time. Yellow Pikmin, yeah, they can have the higher voices. The rock Pikmin, they sounded fine. The wing Pikmin sounded more like girls. I feel as though the white Pikmin when you first discovered them on Pikmin 2, they sounded more buggy, more insect-like. So that would have been a great sound for them. And the purple Pikmin should have just sounded like heavier. Like, they should have sounded like they had a big throat. Like, if that makes sense. Like, cause fat people and skinny people don't sound alike. You know, there's no way, y'all may think I have a deep voice, but there's no way I sound like Biggie Smalls or anybody his size. So that's another gripe I have with it. If you're going to give one a different voice, give them all different voices, because it's just kind of a throw off. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this game. Like I said, I can't wait to play it, get my hands on it. I can't wait to find out if Nintendo's going to throw this curveball and have purples and whites in the story mode. And I can't wait to see if they're going to throw another curveball to us and reference the character D, because I do believe that he's still in the game. Because if you look at the order of the picture, as the order of the way they were lined up in the picture when we first seen the captains, D, A, B, C, I think there's a reason as to why D was in front of A. But that's just my thoughts on it. So y'all have just wrote the Maverick. Peace. The peace sign. Had to make sure I got it in the camera.